Morning, everybody.
Hey, Will.
Scott?
How are you?
All right.
First off, just your thoughts on not having Riqui again, and what are some of the solutions? Is that something where you're looking to short-term somebody in, or do you just work with what you have?
We had one really great day, I think, of 2026. I was in Hawaii with my family and woke up on the 2nd with the news about Riqui. And so obviously it's devastating. It's really difficult for the team. Obviously difficult for Riqui with everything he put into his rehab. We just feel for him. The reality is MLS, it's a DP league, and you only have 3 slots. And if we have the opportunity to replace Riqui for this year with the season-ending injury, we have to explore it, and we're doing that. But we also need to be mindful of long-term flexibility. We don't want to paint ourselves into a corner where we're going to have 4 DPs next year when Riqui comes back from health. So it's a really difficult needle to thread, but we're trying to explore all options and work within the rules of MLS. But it's definitely a lever that we want to take.
João Klauss, what's going on with that?
Wouldn't comment player conversations.
Last year you guys looked at the U22 and the DPs. Will you deviate from that? Still go with 3 DPs, you think, or add another U22, or how's that process?
It's a difficult model. If you go with a U22, you're probably committing to a longer term deal. These players don't come on short term deals, and then you've got that same issue of what do you do next year, right? So we have to balance the short term with the long term impact of the flexibility we're going to need in 2027.
Is there any update on Nascimento? There's been rumors that he's heading back.
Nas here. He's with the group he's training. We're finalizing language in his loan extension. So confident that we'll have some good news on that in coming days.
There was no issues working with Botafogo. There's some kind of transfer ban.
I think that's a question for MLS, right? Nasi's been here. Nasi's been with us, and again, that's one area where I'm happy to say let the league handle it, but the league has done a lot of business with Botafogo, and so I think that there are sometimes complications that arise from that single-handedly.
Will, has there been any developments with negotiations with Diego Fagúndez?
I haven't spoken to Diego. His father called me the other day, but we're just trying to prioritize our main roster build at the moment. I haven't spoken to Diego recently.
There's been a couple of new additions to the back line this year, and then there's obviously been the announcement that Zonka departed. I don't know if that's been made official yet, but are you anticipating any more new faces in the back line? There's been reports that looking perhaps at some center backs out of Ecuador.
Again, wouldn't comment on speculation, but I haven't seen those. With respect to Zonka, the player and the club are mutually agreeing to part ways. We're finalizing paperwork for that. It hasn't been announced yet. Obviously, it's not finalized. We're really excited about having Jakob and Justin here. Those are 2 really solid MLS veterans, proven playoff experience, big game experience, and they join what we think is a talented group already. And so we feel really good about the group we have now and don't feel any need to add additional bodies.
In regard to Justin Haak, there's been a lot of talk about his versatility. How do you see him fitting into the team? Do you see him more as that defensive midfielder or as a center back?
I think it's a great problem for Greg to have, right? I think he's a guy that's difficult to take off the field because he can help you in so many different ways. But he gives us the opportunity to box differently, so to speak. And so I think having versatility at the position allows you to open up different ways of playing, different styles, and he's just a really competitive guy. The other thing is we have a lot of games this year. We play a ton of games, and we need to have a deep roster so we can keep bodies fresh. Grinding guys down is difficult once you get into August and all that. We just prioritize having a deep roster and flexibility, and guys who can do a lot of different things, and guys who want to stay on the field.
Speaking of that deep roster, we saw some of the younger lads come through last year, like Harbour Miller. Who are you excited to see from those younger players kind of try to step up and make a difference in that first team?
I think our entire group is really excited. Last year, think about it, Harbour got his chance because Mauricio Cuevas got hurt, and probably wouldn't have seen what Harbour could do if it wasn't for that. But we got to. Lucas Sanabria really had a tough year. He broke his collarbone. He showed up late to training camp. He hasn't had a full preseason with us, so I'm really excited to see what Lucas looks like with the year under his belt at the end of preseason. Same thing for Nasi. He showed up at the end of preseason. I think with all of these younger players, it's crazy to think of Mauricio as an older player or Elijah Weiner as an older player, but we have a bunch of guys who are 23 and younger are hungry and really got some good experience last year. And yeah, so I guess I just named everybody under 23. And I'll throw Ruben Ramos in there too. I think Ruben has worked really hard and put in a really good effort. So we're excited about the young guys we have, and they push the group forward.